Hey Aries, this is Zahara Stars with Illum Astrology giving you your February 2018 Astro Weather Forecast. February is going to be pretty much an awesome month for all the signs. There's a couple of them that might be having a little bit of blockages going on there. Everybody does have a different chart, so this is just a general for not all Aries are the same. But there are some general themes. And so for you guys, just so you know, or if you already knew, that we are entering eclipse season. We've kind of already started eclipse season, but then this is the last month before the retrogrades begin. March is going to begin retrograde mania, because it's going to start with a Jupiter retrograde March 8th, and then followed by Mercury on March 22nd, and then the rest of the planets to follow. But this year specifically, we're going to have both Venus and Mars turn retrograde, which don't do that very often, but every 2.5 years. So it's going to be crazy retrograde mania after February. So let's give you the rundown of February for you. How about that? First of all, you've been having Uranus in your sign for the past 4 years. So you've been going through a lot of changes, trying new things, doing a lot of different things, and exploring new options, doing things differently. Maybe even took on some new talents or found out about some new talents. Whatever has been happening, you've definitely been exploring different parts of yourself, okay? And probably having a lot of fun. A lot of changes have been occurring for you. So, what you have going on right now, okay, is that we have, well, first of all, let's go back to Venus. Venus represents our love lives, and it's also our money and the things that bring us pleasure. And for you, February, Venus was traveling your 11th house of friends all through January and the first week of February. And then February 10th, it's going to be moving into your 12th house of seclusion or hidden away, private time, laying low, It's going to be a very pleasant, romantic Valentine's Day for you, because Venus, it's going to be for all of us. Overall, the second half of the month of February is going to be rather romantic. Whenever Venus moves into Pisces, it's just a sweet, softer, more compassionate, loving sign. We're more compassionate, more understanding, more pleasant for some of us that have stronger personalities. So Venus moving into your 12th house for Valentine's Day, actually it's going to officially move into Pisces on the 10th. So from the 10th on, you might feel like you're, you want to spend more time by yourself. Or if you do spend time by yourself, you're going to be content with it. It's going to feel nice, because Venus in the 12th house of bedroom activities, secret love affairs, secrecy, privacy, hidden things, dreams, all that stuff, it tends to make it, and especially in the sign Pisces, very idealistic, romantic, dreamy, spiritual. So it's perfect for Valentine's Day, and it's perfect for pretty much the rest of the month, because February because March is going to start all the rest of the chaos to follow. So it's going to be a nice February for you. Having Venus transit the 12th house can point to secret affairs if you're single, or complicated affairs coming into your life. If you're involved with somebody, you'll have a wonderful time. It's very awesome for just being with someone you love. You'll just want to stay in, not necessarily. You can still go out with Venus transiting the 12th, but it's known as a time of wanting to be, spend more time in privacy, being in the house, or being in bed, or being at a romantic getaway, a sanctuary. It's a very spiritual, magical house. So, you just often don't feel like being in the limelight or going out a lot during this time, but it doesn't mean that you won't, because you're an Aries after all, right? Nothing stops you. So anyway, it's going to be a wonderful romantic month for pretty much everybody, but specifically for you, you can have some really quiet times, peaceful times, laying in bed all day type of Valentine's Day, ordering Chinese food, or like I said, you can still choose to go out. The Sun and Mercury are transiting your 11th house of friends, and has been for the past couple of weeks. And it's a time where you get recognized by your friends. You spend more time communicating with other people. It's also social groups, associations. You can be feeling a little philanthropic. You may want to help other people in some way, spend time with your friends, help your friends, communicate. It's very social, a social house. It has to do with other people, with all the people, the humanity as a whole. So having the Sun, your pride, your ego wanting to shine, the Sun is where we feel like we want to put in our efforts because we just feel good. And so in the 11th house, it's around people, friends, groups, associations, stuff like that. So as I was saying, the first part of February is very active, and then the second part of February is going to slow down and become a lot more calm, peaceful, serene, a little slower. But it's going to be really, really nice. We can all use that, and especially you as an Aries, ruled by Mars, always going. It could go two ways. You may not like the slowness, or you may not like the relaxation that comes along with Venus transiting the 12th. But for the most part, I think you will. Because it's always pleasant to be. Even if you are going to be alone, or even if you choose to be alone, you're going to be very happy and content being alone. So let's see what else you have going on. So you have Saturn's been transiting your 10th house along with Pluto. A lot of transformation in career, a lot of restructuring in career. If you're retired, then you're really probably spending less time out in the public, or maybe not feeling as if you want to be as social or out there. If you're working, you may have a lot of pressure put on you. You might be really busy at work. Saturn is restrictions, boundaries, and blockages, but also the great teacher. So there's a lot of lessons to learn with Saturn, and he helps us grow, evolve, and polish our skills, and become presentable people. Saturn's very, he can be harsh. You can come through as bosses critiquing you, stress at the job that's making you feel like you're working so hard for so little. Saturn doesn't stop things. He slows them down. He slows the process down. So you keep working hard, and that way, when he finally opens up the gates, it comes flooding in. So all your rewards will come to you in career if you just apply yourself. Put your head down, just work. I'm not saying work super hard, but work smart. Try to stay out of trouble, because the 10th house can also be, public trouble, especially with Pluto. Could be problems with the law or something like that. You have Saturn and Pluto both there. But for the most part, having Saturn and Pluto in your 10th house of career can be a little bit confusing, because Pluto can have, he wants you to go after what it is that you really want to do with your life. And Saturn is like, yeah, you can do that, but you got to do it right. You got to fit the formality. You got to make sure that people like you. You got to do a good job so people talk highly of you. Because Pluto can make you want something so bad that you're just pushing people around, or you're not listening to anyone, or you're bossing people around, or you're causing havoc in some way. This is not always the case, okay? But we all know that Pluto's about power. And he makes us really want stuff bad. He's passion, he's desire, he's now or never, all or nothing. So having him transit your 10th house of career can, cause you to move around to different jobs until you find your right location. But Saturn's going to help structure that. He's going to help you find that place. He's going to help you, get into the right place and build a name for yourself. Saturn does rule the 10th house. He rules the 10th house of fame, career, legacy. So you can't be the ruler of that house if he's not going to be able to help you get there. So having him in your 10th house is ideal. Plus it's in Capricorn, which is his own sign. So that's stability, growth, working hard, but you're going to see results. And a lot of the results are actually for all the seeds that you're planting now, all the results are going to be coming in this year during our retrograde mania, when all the planets start going retrograde, because that's when we're going to start reaping all the seeds we plant. So just keep pushing ahead. Don't get discouraged if you are facing any opposition at work, or if you feel stressed out, or you feel like you're burdened at work, or there's too much going on, or maybe you're changing jobs, or whatever's happening in your career life. Believe me that Saturn will help you stabilize it and help you build a name for yourself, build a career for yourself. And you could reach some tremendous success in career. Mars has been transiting your 9th house, and it's in the sign of Sagittarius, which is really an awesome place for Mars, because Sagittarius is luck and abundance and courage and hope and belief. So Mars is just pure energy. He's your ruler. And it's all about action. Just do it. And in the sign of Sagittarius, you tend to be very optimistic about what you're doing. And you have the courage, not that Aries lacks any courage. I just admire Aries because you guys take action. You guys just do it. All right. There's no talking about it. Hurry up. Who's going to do it? And I love that. And Sagittarius is similar. So this is going to help you still remain active, even while Venus is kind of calming things down while it's transiting your 12th house, because Mars in Sagittarius just cannot be inactive. It's very active. It's good for pushing along, for trying new things, for sports, for exercise, for all those things, because you just have a ton of energy and you'll be very optimistic about your steps that you're taking. But just be careful about being too overly optimistic. It can be, but just be careful, because sometimes we're too optimistic that we think we can just take on the world and do anything, and then we end up injured. So just, take the proper precautions. Wow. Take the proper precautions. Woo. Okay. So, Jupiter, we all love Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of abundance, luck, and fortune, expansion. So he's been transiting your 8th house, and this has to do with other people's money, sex, taxes, bill collectors, credit cards, partners, sex, money from your partner, money that your partner makes. It's a deep house. But having Jupiter there is always fantastic because he tends to make the deep matters light. He makes them light and fun and lucky. So basically, since Jupiter has entered Scorpio, which was quite a few months back, you've been increasing your finances for sure. This may be taking on more loans, more debt, or getting approved for more loans and more credit cards. This is also benefits from your partner. If you're married or if you have business partners, it's also benefits from the government, also taxes, so you can receive larger amount than you expected. However, it's going to work out for you. You're going to have him there for quite a while longer because he's turning retrograde on the 8th of March. So he's going to retrograde all the way back to 21 degrees Scorpio, and he'll return direct July 10th. So you're going to have them back up again to review matters of the 8th house, and then you're going to start benefiting again. You're going to get benefits from, you can increase your resources and your income quite a bit, but just be careful about overdoing it because Jupiter tends to overdo it. But it looks like a really good money year for you. And as far as this month of February, it's definitely going to be, rather active. You're gonna feel, energetic. You're gonna feel energetic and you're gonna be positive. It's just that, the last part of the month while Venus transits your 12th house, you're probably gonna feel just, it's not in the least a negative transit. So please don't take it that way. It's a wonderful transit. It's just that if you're a very social out there person, which I'm sure most Aries are, it can feel a little slower, a little calmer, but it's definitely pleasant.